Kelvin Carabai, tuning in to you from the beautiful Twin Island Republic state of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. Our nights down here right now, they are very, very cool. I know that wherever you may be, we are all in a lockdown situation because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But this is not a time for us to wonder or to be in bewilderment. We can use this opportunity to retool and reboot ourselves. We know that a shift is here, as we would have heard on many occasions that there is now a new normal, and once the restrictions are lifted, things will not automatically revert to the way they were before. So wherever you are in the world, we thank you tonight for joining us. Sit back and enjoy what we have to offer you this evening. Tonight, I want to introduce to you the person who is doing our presentation tonight. He is a young man, a gentleman whom I admire a lot. He has a wealth of knowledge. This gentleman, for the last 25 years, has been a customs professional. He's also a husband and father of 3 boys. He enjoys building relationships. Being ever a student, his mantra is that there is always room for improvement. Having come into the One Life network in 2017, he has developed a newfound love for the power of networking. It is a joy to be a part of this evolution, he says. This, as I said previously, is a young man I admire, I look up to, very, very knowledgeable, very down-to-earth guy, but his passion is one life. My dear friends, this evening, I present to you our presenter, Mr. Dwayne Kiddies.
Thank you, Mr. Carabine. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Is my screen being seen, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, folks, for shining in from whatever part of the world you're shining in for, or from, I should say. So as we head straight into tonight's presentation, the information contained in this presentation is not intended to be a source of advice or investment analysis of any kind. One Life is a software and technology company that sells high quality products and services such as training and continuing education courses on the international market. Once again, One Life is not an investment company and does not provide any financial advice of any kind. So moving forward, you would have heard Mr. Carabai's introduction. My name is Dwayne Kiddies and I am an independent marketing associate affiliated with the One Life Network, Trinidad and Tobago chapter to be exact. And I am really elated to be able to share information with you this evening. So we are all here to be empowered for our future. And our goal is to reach our true potential and to create a better tomorrow. Okay. I'm hoping that my vocals are a bit louder this time around.
Loud and clear.
Beautiful. So as we move forward into this evening's presentation, we have here on this particular slide a comparison that shows the difference in purchasing power between a gram of gold which is London Bullion Markets Association certified, being 9.999 in purity compared to that of the US dollar, which would in 1971 would have bought you a total of 4 loaves of bread, in comparison to the gram of gold, which would have bought you 5 loaves of bread. What we are doing here is just taking a lesson in terms of purchasing power and appreciated value. So we see almost 40 years plus on that same gram of gold is now able to purchase you, or has a purchasing power and appreciated value, that you can be able to acquire 20 loaves of bread for that same gram of gold. Today, the US dollar could seldom purchase you half a loaf of bread in today's economy. And there's a tale that goes behind this slide, in that initially, silver and gold precious metals were used to transact business. But because of the greed of the then money lenders to basically cheat the population through a process known as fractional reserve lending, we have come to the place where we are today. So you cannot outrun inflation with an income earned in a shrinking currency. And on the screen here, we have some information provided by the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. And it shows us here that the US dollar has lost approximately 98% of its value, and this is over a 100-year period. And if you look at the graph carefully, you will recognize that this graph only takes us up to the year 2013. So 7 years on, in 2020, where we are now, where the oil price has fell out the bottom of the barrel, and basically a lot of countries in the world are on the verge of bankruptcy. It speaks to the level of fractional reserve banking and what it can do to an economy when it induces inflation upon it. So we have here a statement from the former managing director of the International Monetary Fund. And she has speculated that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency have as much of a future as the internet itself. And at this time, I'd like to reference a video from this said individual, Ms. Christine Lagarde. So I do beg your indulgence.
One of the main topics up there was cryptocurrencies, and all sorts of companies now getting to this effort, not least among them Facebook. What kind of threat does this pose to the traditional banking system?
Well, I think you have incumbents, the banks, commercial banks, and you have the disruptors. And clearly the disruptors are having an impact on the incumbents. We just heard a very large systemic bank here saying that they're launching the digital coin, currently piloted in a way within the institutional clients, but to be scaled beyond that. We heard from the European Central Bank that they have launched in November something that is called TIPS, that enables all the banks in the Eurozone to actually transfer instantly at virtually no cost money between them. So I think that the role of the disruptors and anything that is using distributed ledger technology, whether you call it crypto assets, currencies, or whatever, and it's far from the bitcoins that we used to talk about a year ago, that is clearly shaking the system. The voice that we heard, which was, I thought, really interesting, were those of the regulators and central bank governors who said, well, yes, this is good and this is helpful, and it is changing the business model of commercial banks. But we have to be mindful of two things: trust and stability of the system. And we are equally concerned, we at the IMF, about stability. We don't want innovation that would shake the system so much that we would lose the stability that is needed.
And are regulators doing enough right now to ensure that stability and as well competition from some of these big tech companies being involved in this space?
You know, I think they're mindful of wherever the competition is coming from. The central bank governor of Kenya was explaining to us that they gave a banking license to a telecom company. And I think in the future, we have to look at what lots of data collectors and movers are going to do, and whether they're going to move into the banking space forcefully, in which case they will have to be regulated, they will have to be held accountable so that they can be fully trusted.
Madam Lagarde, I know you have a tight schedule. Thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live. We always love to have you, and our viewers are certainly happy to see you back with us.
So folks, the world is changing very rapidly, if I do say so myself. And one of the things that we have to be mindful of in this place and time is that we need to understand that there's a shift. So Mr. Karabai, just confirming if my slide is back up on the screen so that I may continue.
The one that's up is with Christine Lagarde.
Beautiful, thank you. So we're moving now into the fourth industrial revolution. It is not just about technology or business, but it's about society. Just as you would have spoken earlier, Mr. Karabai, about the COVID virus now has taken over that pandemic that has the world under grip. And the new normal is being inside. So we've gone through 3 industrial revolutions right now, and we're at the 4th. We started at the mechanization and steam power, weaving looms. We went on to mass production, assembly line, electrical energy. We then hit automation, computers and electronics, and now we're into cyber physical system and the Internet of Things. So this is where it all began, the genesis. Barter trade. Coincidence of wants. You have meat, I have apples, we want to trade. But of course, there was some difficulty in that, in coming to the right measure that would satisfy both parties. We went on to silver and also gold, precious metals. We spoke about that. And out of this came the gold standard, when prior to 1971, the US currency was backed by physical gold, so much so that you could have taken your bank notes, your US bank notes, that would have represented a claim check on gold, and redeemed that gold from the Treasury or the Federal Reserve at that point in time. But as of 1971, the gold window was closed and fiat currency reigned. Of course, we went on to paper dollars or fiat currency, as we do know, and plastic. If you didn't have a credit card, a Visa card, a MasterCard in the 90s, you weren't hip, you weren't in the game. And of course, now we have reached the advent of cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Monero, and the likes. But most people don't understand what cryptocurrency is all about. So this slide seeks to bring some clarity as to exactly what it is. So cryptocurrency is digital money that uses blockchain technology and cryptography for security and anti-counterfeiting. The value of the currency is not based on any country or central bank. The value is dependent on the supply and demand, and it behaves more like gold. So most of us understand the Bitcoin story that started way back in 2008, when Bitcoin came on the market for just 10 cents. And persons would have bought in Bitcoin at that point in time and made millions, or even billions for that matter. So to get a bit of clarity into what blockchain technology is and what it can do, I'd just like us to take a look at this video that gives us some explanation.
Modern criminal, chances are you use it to buy guns, drugs, and even launder money. Sounds dodgy. But high-profile institutions such as USAID and UNICEF have a different view. They think it could be a force for good, helping the poorest people in the world. It's a technology called blockchain, a global online database that anyone, anywhere with an internet connection can use. Unlike traditional databases, which are owned by central figures like banks and governments, a blockchain doesn't belong to anyone. And with an entire network looking after it, cheating the system by faking documents, transactions, and other information becomes possible. Here's how it works. Blockchains store information permanently across a network of personal computers. This not only decentralizes the information, but distributes it too. So how can a multi-purpose online database whose users include criminals work for everyday use? How does it stay relatively hack-proof? The answer is blockchain's millions of users. They make it difficult for any one person to take down the network or corrupt it. The many people who run the system use their own personal computers to hold bundles of records submitted by others. The records are known as blocks. Each block has a timestamp and a link to a previous block, forming a chronological chain. It's like a giant Google Doc with one key difference. You can view it and add to it, but you can't change the information that's already there. The blockchain enforces this by using a form of math called cryptography, which means records can't be counterfeited or altered by someone else. Blockchain's most famous application is Bitcoin. It's a digital currency that is created and held electronically, and you can send it to anyone, whether you know them or not. Bitcoin provides a level of anonymity we've not seen in modern times. That's because, unlike credit cards and PayPal payments, there are no middlemen such as banks and financial institutions asking for our personal information and home address. Instead, people from all over the world move the digital money by validating other people's Bitcoin transactions, earning a small fee in the process. Where the blockchain comes in is verifying the ownership of this digital cash and making sure only one person is claiming it as their own at a time. Banks and businesses are rushing to adopt blockchain database technology. In a survey of 308 senior executives at US companies with $500 million or more in annual revenue, Deloitte found that 28% of respondents had invested $5 million or more in blockchain technology. 10% had invested $10 million or more. But why are they spending so much money? Well, to save money, of course. When this study looked into the data of 8 of the world's largest investment banks, it found that blockchain could save them between $8 and $12 billion every year. Bet that $5 million investment doesn't sound so bad now, but it's not all good news for the big players, of course. Blockchain lowers the barrier for entry into the banking industry, and that means fintech startups are popping up in pretty much every market they operate in. If banks and companies can't keep up, they're putting their own survival at risk. For the consumer, the future seems brighter with more security, less cost, and better experiences. Yet, blockchain could be the biggest game changer for the poorest in society. The technology is open to people living in low-income countries or fragile states at risk of economic collapse. Take a farmer with a small plot of land which is then flooded. The paper copy of the deeds to his land is washed away, resulting in the farmer having no proof of owning the land. Or perhaps he does have a digital copy on a government database, but it is erased, altered, or even destroyed in a political coup. If the farmer had filed that deed on a blockchain, he could have avoided all these problems. Along with speeding up the flow of cash and providing a secure place to keep records, the benefits for the poorest in society are enormous. From protecting our identities to running autonomous vehicles to managing a world that is increasingly dependent on the Internet of Things, the possibilities of blockchain technology seem endless. But whether it lives up to its promise remains to be seen.
So folks, you have a better appreciation for blockchain technology now. as that video would have gone in depth into helping us understand what blockchain technology is and how it affects us all. And in this era, what we recognize is that those who do not have the will to change will definitely be left behind, because right now it's adapt or die. The OneCoin blockchain consists of every transaction ever performed in OneCoin. OneCoin is the first cryptocurrency to store KYC documents on its blockchain. So our goal is to become the #1 cryptocurrency in the world, and that is more than attainable. And how are we going to do it? We are going to achieve this goal of becoming the #1 cryptocurrency in the world through usability, expansion, and market capitalization. We have a coin that is universal, that can be used all over the world to purchase goods and services. OneCoin changes the world of finance in a responsible way. The OneCoin blockchain, as you heard before, stores KYC documents. In that brief video that we got introduced to blockchain technology, we saw where it was mentioned that the Bitcoin, although being the first cryptocurrency that was created, has a level of anonymity to it. And of course, most financial institutions now require KYC documents, and they want to know who their customers are, so that if anything goes awry, that information can be handed over to the relevant authorities. So OneCoin is positioned for greatness in that regard. And of course, it's all due to our visionary leader. Here she is on screen, Dr. Ruja Ignatova, born in Sofia, Bulgaria. She has a degree in law from the University of Oxford. She has a master's degree in economics from the University of Constance. She also has a PhD in law from the University of Oxford and Constance. And her thesis was on corporate litigation within the European Union. This company, OneCoin, has come under so much fire within the last 5 years. And we continue to rise to the top like cream because Dr. Ruja has already done her homework. As it says here, the thesis was done on corporate litigation within the European Union. And if we as IMAs enter into our back offices, we will see this information there. Legal judgment after legal judgment in different jurisdictions of the world, where OneCoin would have been tried and found to be innocent of all charges. Dr. Ruja has worked with various financial risk and asset management firms in the European Union, and she has also done consulting work for several other cryptocurrency companies before creating OneCoin. She's also published 2 books on digital currency in German and Chinese. What is our mission here at OneLife? The OneLife's network mission is to enable a global community of web users to take active part in using and improving new cutting-edge digital products and services. Our aim is to increase the quality of life to our members using the One ecosystem, and to provide an alternative and equal access to practical and relevant financial education to people worldwide. This statement here has me a bit perturbed, because we see in our educational system, I should say today, that basically we are being educated just to pass exams, but we are not being educated to think critically. We are not being educated to be empowered to be able to create value through commerce and business. And we need that in today's economy. We need that where we see that a lot of people have to stay at home because of the COVID virus, and because they are not able to critically think and create value for themselves. Basically, they are waiting on the government to come up with their plan B rather than be empowered themselves. So OneLife is here to ignite a natural financial evolution. As I said before, if we don't get on board now, chances are that we are going to be left behind in this evolution. And also we are here to invite opportunities for economic growth and to create new markets and opportunities. OneCoin is here to empower the masses. And how are we going to do it? Well, we're going to achieve this feat through education. As I said before, the system that currently exists basically teaches us how to pass tests, repetition, but it doesn't bring us to the point where we use critical thinking in our day-to-day going on. So the One Academy is here for that. It was created for that purpose. We have the level 1, which was created by Mr. Angel Markev, and he is a 4th generation university lecturer. His father was a lecturer, his grandfather was a lecturer, and his great-grandfather was a lecturer. So he has a lifelong experience of education, and of course, he's also technically inclined. So he uses a lot of technology in his teaching, understanding that people learn differently. He uses different techniques to reach you where you are. That's why we say with the One Academy, you learn at your own pace. So you have that ability to look at videos. We have the manuals that is able to assist you in comprehending these terms that may be new to you. Mr. Markev also created the level 2, which is the risk and stock market program. And this level explains stock trading, asset classes analysis, and stock market forecasting. And of course, it gives us lessons about behavioral perspective. Money has an attitude, and we need to understand this. Level 3 was created by Ionis Kantatis. This is a forex trader with more than 20 years experience in his field. He sits on many boards. He has his own organizations as well that he spearheads. And he's a very learned mind in the area of forex. By the way, forex represents one of the subject areas that persons are able to learn and earn in terms of the trillion-dollar market that's available on a daily basis in forex trading. We have risk management and econometric analysis also created by Mr. Kantatis. And you learn here in depth of how to create economic analysis and to get familiar or more familiar with financial assets, including gold, cryptocurrency, silver, and other commodities. And you start modeling your analysis on knowledge gained from the previous levels and begin to put your skills into practice. So the One Academy, it's line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. You would know that from other places. But of course, we can be able to use principles to our benefit. So we have level 5, which is behavioral finance and advanced analysis, Mr. Newman Olku. And these gentlemen are very versed in what they do. Mr. Olku is a businessman. He also sits on a lot of boards of different successful companies across the world. And he has made his contribution here in terms of behavioral finance, because as I said before, money comes with an attitude. And you have to understand that there's a psychology that comes along with money. We have here behavioral economics, which was created by Newman Olku and Eva Porras. Ms. Porras is an educator that has transcended Europe and both North America. She sits on 2 school boards in Europe and also in America. She is also a business professional. And this course uses psychology and economics to explain the anomalies on the financial markets. And you gain more in-depth knowledge about behavioral biases and short insight into their direct effect on IPOs. You learn about such terminologies as herding, if we've understood or heard that terminology before, where everybody follows the crowd just to try and escape the inevitable. And of course, welcome to the OneForex program. This is a program that is spearheaded here in Trinidad and Tobago by our diamond leaders, Ivan and Michelle Mark and Mr. Jason Bramble. And month by month, they have been able to empower persons to learn Forex trading and be able to make as much as 12 trades per day, successful trades at that. So definitely you would do well to engage this aspect of our education in OneForex. So we're about creating financial experts. That is what the One Life program is all about. And of course, we do it from the ground up. We have finance for children. Through our One Academy series, we have our mascot, Super Ted, which stands for Technology, Education, and Development. And he teaches such subjects in cartoon and comic book forms, highly colorful and illustrated as we see here on our screen. And we teach the children about making money. How do dreams come true? The history of money, making money go around, or the circulation of money, risk and insurance, and also why do we pay taxes? The OneCoin and OneLife organization is not without its corporate social responsibility, and this is achieved through the One World Foundation. So the One World Foundation is here to empower children to reach their potential through education and long-term support. So we look at such areas as poverty and malnutrition, hazardous waste to school, lack of family care, disabilities, lack of modern educational facilities, lack of support, and child labor. And of course, those of you in our One Life network in Trinidad and Tobago, I would have you know that the One World Foundation is alive and well. And should you wish to make any contributions, you can get in contact with any one of the diamonds. We have Miss Patrice James, we have Miss Michelle Mark, and we also have Mrs. Wilson, among others that spearhead this initiative to help, because we understand the principle when it's put in work. So we empower children to reach their potential through education and long-term support. And this brings us to the One Life ecosystem, at which the OneCoin cryptocurrency is at the center. So just as we said before, we have several arms that are active right now, the charity arm and the One World Foundation. We have the OneForex arm that's active right now. We have the DealShaker platform, which I got a beautiful explanation from one of our IMAs who was on the call just last week, Dr. Trevor Sears, when he says that you have to get involved with a business that has a business within it. And that is what the OneCoin ecosystem is all about. It's a business within a business. And to quote our illustrious leader, Cordell King James, the One Life captain and the Blue Diamond out of Trinidad and Tobago, money is whatever we agree upon to settle a transaction for goods and services. We need to understand that, because in the evolution of money, when we've gone from barter trade to silver and gold to fiat currency to plastic and now to digital currency, no one can tell us what we can use for money. Whatever we decide on, that is what it is. So what can you do on the DealShaker platform? You can advertise your products and services. You can spend your ones on exciting deals. You can promote deals and products which you wish to sell. And you can also save money. Understanding that we have a business within a business is something that will blow your mind. What deals can we expect to see on the DealShaker? Well, there are several categories of deals. We have travel, services, home and auto, entertainment, and hobbies, and also products. And we're going to expand a little bit on those. So do I have to have a registered company to sell on the DealShaker? The answer to that is no and no. As an individual seller can be registered on our platform and showcase his or her goods and services, as well as a registered company can as well. So OneCoin does not discriminate in its opportunity. As we said before, we want to create equal opportunity. And these are two deals that I saw earlier today on the DealShaker. The one to my left is in Vietnam, where they are taking a percentage of coins and cash for this beautiful ultra modern villa, outfitted with waterfall and pool and all. And right next to it, there's another property that is showcased here. The country escapes me at this point in time, but a beautiful property, a nice estate that you could be able to acquire using the OneCoin cryptocurrency, because we have usability that's global. As we move forward here, you can be able to purchase this Mercedes-Benz utilizing 50% coins, and this is from one of our early merchants on the platform, Cravel Cars, out of the EU. And if that doesn't pique your interest and you're more business-minded or business-oriented, this backhoe, this mini excavator can be yours, utilizing OneCoin cryptocurrency, 30% to be exact, and cash. So we are here to create opportunities on our platform. So on your screen right now, you are seeing some snapshots of purchases that I would have made over my 2.5-year tenure in OneLife. Various products from various merchants. And I'm pleased to report that I've been satisfied with everything thus far that I've purchased here. I've cut my hair at our OneCoin barber in San Fernando, Mr. Michael Espinoza. I've purchased organic soap from one of my direct downlines in the business. I've purchased jewelry for my wife from one of our noted DealShaker merchants. Juice, pastels, cupcakes, cooking oil, even a full body massage, a back massage here in particular. And of course, the fresh bottle seasoning out of Tobago. Can't forget that at all. Usability at its best. So now we'd like to hear from one of our satisfied OneCoin customers and merchants.
Mr. George, congratulations for getting your hybrid fielder. Of course, partly coins, one is in fact, and it shows that you want to alive. So these are your keys, these are your documents, and I know you will have enjoy your work on OneLife.
Thank you. Coins, coins, coins. OneLife, One Academy, OneCoin. It works.
You heard it from the man.
Thank you, Clean Tech General Services.
Mr. George Calenda receiving his 2015 Toyota Hybrid Fielder. There he goes. He's in the driver's seat. The supplier, the merchant, as usual, Clean Tech General Services. And we are pleased to say that the coins is in full effect. We are not just talking it. We don't talk at Clean Tech. We do it. We see it come to pass. So you see Mr. George posing off in his vehicle. You saw Mr. Alvarez leave earlier on this week. And today's Friday. And Mr. George is pulling out.
is rolling out of clean tech. Once again, we are pleased to be the suppliers and to support this system of OneCoin, One Academy, and we are waiting to see this thing go further, higher, faster, stronger, because this is only the icing. The real cake is to come still. So there's Georgie waving to us as he's about to take off in his Toyota.
Beautiful. So usability at its best, folks, and more usability. As I said before, these represent my personal purchases on the platform. I've bought tea, I've bought bottled water, I've bought books, perfumes, I've rented cars, made groceries, nuts, t-shirt package deals, rice, vitamins, bed linens. I've also rented a vehicle from CleanTech myself for at least 2 months, about a year and more ago. Even if we look at this deal down at the bottom of my screen to your right, this is one of my deals. And remember, I spoke about Dr. Sears saying that you have to be involved in a business within a business. Well, this business affords me the opportunity to purchase from myself. So I've purchased these boxer shorts from my own store. And in doing so, I've added value to the community and I've added value to the coin. There's power in being in a part of a network. So OneCoin usability right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Enjoy a body job for 60% coins and 40% cash. This is Mr. Wendell Indigo Martin. So if you're looking for a body job in the midst of the COVID, we can provide that for you. Usability through the OneCoin cryptocurrency. And OneCoin and OneLife, what we say is that we don't use people to build the system. We use the system to build people. And our digital markets have taken place from the 14th of December all the way back to 2018 when we launched our DealShaker Bazaar at the Hilton Hotel. And we have taken it cross country. These are some of the gentlemen within our network that have tested the system and found usability. And these are some of our merchants. These are some of the people who give OneCoin its value through their productivity and belief. Innovating, engineering, satisfied customers. I don't know how some people can say that our business is a Ponzi scheme with so many smiling, satisfied faces. This gentleman came into our network and immediately became a sensation, putting his juices on the platform. Usability at its best. OneCoin, you can be able to purchase fresh produce, breads, pastries, and of course, great tasting food from Miss Alicia. So I dare and double dare everyone to make sure when we have our next bazaar, to make sure and get something to eat from Miss Alicia. Her food is just delicious. And of course, OneCoin is about empowerment. These products here have been created from my direct downlines in the business, Miss Mary Beal and Miss Jamila Beal, Simply Gems. And they have put their creative heads together and come up with a product that is new, a product that has been tested by the members of our network and is being sought out now internationally. So OneCoin is about empowering persons. So we have here Mr. Michael Bailey and his son, DealShaker merchants, enjoying the platform and adding value to the network and the coin. So that is what it's about. This afternoon, I went through my wallet and found these cards. And a lot of us could relate to these cards being shown on the screen right now, as they give us certain privileges However, these pale in significance to what we can achieve becoming a part of the OneLife and OneCoin ecosystem. I want to share a brief video with you guys in relation to networks and being a part of a network. So I beg your indulgence for just a minute as I queue up this video explaining to you the power of networks. And this is just want to make sure that the screen is being seen properly. So I just ask Mr. Karabai just to confirm with me if my screen is being seen.
Yes, the screen is being seen.
All right, and just a short volume adjustment. And here we go.
Chart that I think says in another way what he so profoundly provided us today. This chart to me represents beautiful, educated, moneyed black people all over America. It could represent black organizations, it could represent black churches, it could represent black social and civic organizations. And what you will notice about these beautiful black people all over America is that everybody is doing their own thing, caught up in a Eurocentric value of rugged individualism, having forgotten that it takes a village to raise a child. There is no power here, brothers and sisters. There is no power here. Power is most effective concentrated. You can take a 55-gallon drum of water, spill it over, it will disperse, find its own level, and eventually evaporate. You can take that same 55-gallon drum of water, put it under pressure, put a lid on it, put a hose in it, put a nozzle on the end of that hose, and it can cut concrete. There is no power with us being disconnected. See, there's nothing wrong with dispersion. I live in Cleveland, you live in Atlanta. We have folk in the Caribbean, we have folk in Africa. That's dispersion. That's okay, but we do not have to be disconnected. We are a disconnected people. We are powerless in disconnection. This is where all the power is. You see? This is where all the power is. Whether you are at the center of your own network or a part of someone else's network, this is where the power is. There's a beautiful African proverb that says, when spiders unite, they can tie up a lion. When we connect, because we are disconnected, we're disconnected from those of like mind, we're disconnected from the best practices in our community. I don't care what it is that you want to do, what profession you want to engage in, what business you want to get into. I can introduce you to brothers and sisters all over America they are doing it to death. You just don't know who they are. You are disconnected from them. There is no power in disconnection. Okay? When we connect, we prevent interlopers from coming into our communities and taking and destroying at will.
Hi, George.
Try to open up the Booker T. Washington delicatessen in Chinatown and see what happens. So we must connect. We must connect the dots. That must be the movement for our people in the 21st century. We need a lot of us doing a little instead of a few of us doing a lot. We need to get together to get ahead. That is why we must network.
So folks, that is why we must network, because we need to get together in order to get ahead. And that's just the beauty of what we teach here. So it's time sensitive. The earlier the better. So in January of 2015, our OneCoin had a market value of 50 cents. Today, it's $42.43 euro. And that value will continue to rise because of each of our individual productivity that adds to the whole. All DealShaker merchants, all persons that patronize on the DealShaker platform, that is what you do. You add value. As we said before, coming all the way up from 2015 to today, and also the value that it just appreciated to is not seen on the graph here, but it's now 42, 43 euro. A starter package purchased back in 2015, which would have received 2,400 tokens, would have had approximately 220 coins. Between then and the present, there have been 21 appreciations to the value of the OneCoins, as you can see, or you have seen in the preceding slide. The 220 coins, which carried a fiat value of approximately 231 euros back in June of 2015, now has an appreciated purchasing power value of 9,300 euros in March 2020. And that speaks to a growth of 3,900% over a 4-year and 9-month period. So that is why we can say, when we give a man a fish, we feed him for a day. But when we teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. So here's the plan that we're running with. We're building a global community of 10 million persons. Get on board. To facilitate them, we are building a merchant platform where we need 1 million merchants to satisfy that network globally. And of course, then we are headed public, after which the value will continue to grow due to productivity, because OneCoin is not a coin for speculation. We are a coin built for regulation. So here it is, the packages that you've been seeking out. These are the packages that are represented here in terms of financial education that we sell: Introduction to Finance, Risk and Stock Market, Technical Analysis and Financial Markets, Forex and Econometric Analysis, Risk Management and Advanced Analysis 1, Risk Management and Advanced Analysis 2, Behavioral Finance 1 and 2. As we said, money comes with a psychology. On your screen, you would see where the packages start as low as $1,610. And of course, surprise, surprise, we go all the way to 640,000 TT. Yes, folks, education pays dividends. And of course, these are the components that bring it all together. The One Academy, the DealShaker platform, our business within our business, the OneForex, another business within a business, and the OneLife network, the people that make it happen. And surprise, surprise, our educational packages, traders and above, are now discounted by 25%. So, as we always say, get back in contact with the person who invited you on the call. Because what it's about is value appreciation. Teaching you how to take your dying fiat currency and convert it into an appreciating asset that will grow in value over time. It's about capital appreciation, folks. It's the key to a bright future. And that's what we're about. That's what we're about. We're here to help you to think and act globally. So I do encourage you to join us as we press on into the future. At this point in time, I'd like to hand back over to Mr. Karabai. It's all over to you, sir.
Wow, 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 wow. Kudos to you, Mr. KD. Is extremely, extremely well done. This has been a very down-to-earth and comprehensive presentation this evening. Thank you so, so very much. And for those of you who are listening to us, we really, really would want to encourage you. You need to remember, we do not sell cryptocurrency. We sell financial education. We teach you so that you'll be able to understand. And through the process that the purchasing of that financial education goes, eventually you end up with a related or equivalent amount of OneCoin's cryptocurrencies based on the level of education that you purchase. So you are not purchasing education. Additionally, why it is we reach out to folks, not only in our society, but globally also, is the fact that our fiat currency is dying in value, it's depreciating. Why not diversify your financial portfolio and include a new asset class, one that's appreciating in value, that is cryptocurrency? Position yourself so that as the shift takes place, you would be in the correct position. Thank you so very much again, Mr. Kadies. I know that our time is fast spent, so quickly, I must do this. I'd like to call our upline Blue Diamond and captain of the One Life network globally, our brother and close friend, Mr. Cordell King James, to give us a few words. Yeah, Cordell is around.
I believe he dropped off the call, you know.
Okay, so then what I'll do is Patrice, Blue Diamond, Mrs. Patrice James, just give us a few words of encouragement as we wrap up this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Carabai. King James definitely has been on back-to-back calls today. So I guess he was on but fell off. I said to him that, you know, this period of COVID-19, he has been traveling even more than before the lockdown. And, you know, I really admire him. I'm learning, continue to learn a lot being married to King James for his, you know, passion and commitment. And while Kadies was presenting, and he was talking about unity, I thought about how, you know, when you decide to come together, whether it's a marriage, a family, whatever it is, there's always some sort of negative force that tries to separate. And, you know, they say united we stand and divided we fall. And we have to have that definiteness of purpose and know what we desire, know what we want to accomplish, and then make up in our minds that we're going to stay together no matter what. You know, they say, it might sound a little cliche, but a chain is as strong as its weakest link. We would be penetrated only if we cause ourselves to be weak. And how do we cause that? By not developing personally. And within this community, within the One Life community, we have a lot to learn. A lot of the resources are there for us. If it's not the lunch and learn call, midday, which we need to be on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or these calls at night, you always learn something new. Excellent presentation by Mr. Kadies. Or if it's not our One Academy, the material, I'm seeing a lot of people globally going back into their One Academy with that desire to really learn and to get that passion that others who are educated by the One Academy has. Whatever it is, even if it's just the Super TED for children, if break it down a little bit, it's our responsibility to get that personal development, to even have other books outside of the community that helps us, you know, grow personally. And the way that we come together and unite and make that chain, that link strong, is by each one of us individually becoming stronger so that we could be, you know, stronger together. Our chain, our link could be strong. So that's what I want to share tonight. I know we went on a little long, but I just want to encourage us during this time and even beyond this time to build ourselves personally so that when we come together, it will really be together for more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrice James. And as we look to close off, we'd really like to thank those of you who took the time to spend with us this evening. I want to remind you that we have our Lunch and Learn One Academy tomorrow, Friday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And then feel free to join us tomorrow evening from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time also as we go back into our Zoom webinar. Remember, you can be educated. Knowledge is not power. The true power comes in applied knowledge. God bless you. See you tomorrow, please God.